Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast, a no judgment zone podcast that covers lifestyle, entertainment, news, and sports. Even though KC doesn't watch sports, but these are minor details. By the way, he reads tarot cards too. Yes, I really mean it. He reads tarot cards too. And now, the host you've tuned in for, KC Phoenix.
Welcome to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix. And let me tell you, this story is a doozy. I'm actually doing this different. Usually, I record just myself and read the article, but I'm actually showing the article, and for those who are watching, you can see me in a little small square. And I was like, let's do it this way, so you can see what I'm reading, and also so you can see I'm not making up these stories that I've been reading too. But for my podcast listeners, I guess it doesn't matter because you can't see what I'm doing. So here we are. All right, so before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms, even though I don't really use social media that much. Also, don't forget about the Christmas with KC contest. All you have to do is sign up, go to the details section of the episode, and click on the link for joining the email list. It'll take you to the page. Enter your email address. No, I won't spam you. Once you join the mailing list, you will automatically be entered in the Christmas with KC contest. There will be cash prizes given away via Cash App, and also gift cards given away too. So if you want to enter in that contest, that's all you have to do. Nothing else is required. All right. I don't know what's going on in the UK, because some of my stories from the man who allegedly fell on the military shell that got stuck in his behind, to the priest who had his house stolen by the con artist, to there was something else that I feel like there was another story of something that happened in the UK. And now here we are with ice cream. So I say this, I love my UK people. London was very beautiful when I visited many, many years ago. But the thing is, sometimes people say stuff about us Americans. UK people, I don't want to hear any more words about Americans anymore. Because this story right here, this is a little extra. All right, so title of the story: restaurant forced to refund ice cream that was too cold. As far as a stupid refund claims go, we have a winner. Asking a refund for your food delivery order seems like a reasonable thing to do if your meal gets too cold. This is a typo. For those who are watching, you see gets too, and then they put you cold. You shouldn't be in there. Anyways, unless, of course, you ordered ice cream. Hassan Habib, the owner of Lucky's Diner in Oldham, UK, recently had an issue the most ridiculous refund of his career. A customer that ordered a bunch of cold treats wanted their money back because the food wasn't warm when it got to them. They ordered 4 milkshakes, a cheesecake, and an ice cream. 45 minutes later, they put in a refund request because the food was cold, Habib told Manchester Evening News. The whole situation is mind-boggling stupid. Was the customer possibly expecting Lucky's to send them melted ice cream? A change for the worse. Unfortunately, this isn't a case of stupidity but malice. The ice cream refund is just one example of the recent flood of scams plaguing English restaurants. The customer placed their ice cream order through Just Eat, a British food delivery service similar to Uber Eats. The service recently revamped its refund system to be simpler for customers, mostly in an effort to keep up with its main competitor. But it seems that the change now rigged the system against restaurant owners. We can see how many orders someone's made on Just Eat or with us. I've seen someone who's ordered food from us and they've never placed an order on Just Eat before, Habib said, describing the ice cream scammer. That's just one of the many examples. They just order food, put down XYZ is wrong with it, do a refund and leave us to the cost. Earlier, Just Eat would contact the restaurant to check whether the refund request was legitimate. With the new system, however, the service processes refunds based on a customer's claims, charging restaurants for things that could reasonably be their fault, exploiting a loophole. This no questions asked process has left British restaurants vulnerable to scams because no one asked them anything. Restaurants can't immediately dispute false claims. There is a 30-day dispute period after Just Eat makes a refund decision, but the charge is still making a serious dent into restaurants' earnings. Habibi doesn't claim that his restaurant always provides flawless service. Mistakes happen after all. But earlier, he could try to make things right instead of bleeding money. I fully understand that things go wrong. Sometimes we make mistakes, we miss items or send the wrong item out. But we make it up to the customers, whether it's with a replacement item or a fully entitled refund, he explained. But now some really bad, evil people are taking advantage of this loophole, and it's left us in a really bad position. Habibi said that he's been losing hundreds of dollars worth of income every month due to false refund claims. As a result, he has taken his restaurant off the Just Eat platform. We're sorry for any inconvenience it may cause, but we won't be available on Just Eat for deliveries anymore. There's a scam going on Just Eat for the past few weeks, and we just can't carry on like this as a small business, Lucky's wrote on Facebook to inform their customers of the decision. We have taken it up with Just Eat numerous times, like a lot of other small independent businesses, but we had no support whatsoever, which is very sad and unfair. A cry for help. On their part, Just Eat maintains that their refund policy change conforms to industry standards. Nonetheless, the service claims that it always refunds restaurants in full when they discover a fraudulent customer claim. Just Eat is only successful if our restaurant partners are successful, and we have a track record of helping restaurants prosper. We're keen to maintain an open dialogue with the restaurants on our platform and continue to review our policies and processes in this space to support both customers and restaurants alike, a spokesperson told Manchester Evening News. Habibi, however, isn't particularly impressed by Just Eat's efforts. Instead of paying the delivery service their 20% cut, he said they'd rather just offer a 20% discount for customers to order through his restaurant website. Okay, now that's very shrewd. I like that. I work 90 hours a week and have burns and cuts all over my hands, and why? For some scammer out there who Just Eat are supporting. Habib, first it was Habibi, now it's Habib. You see this, those who are watching, there's an I right here, but then there's not an I right here. Okay, so is it Habibi or is it Habib? Whatever. Habib is now trying to collaborate with other small restaurants to send a message to Just Eat. His goal is to get 50 to 100 establishments to all switch their order systems offline at the same time. I can afford to turn Just Eat off permanently, but a lot of businesses can't. There's nothing we can do to help them, but we desperately need help, he said. Even if we turn the machines off for an hour to show we're unhappy, that might help get a conversation going. Okay, so let me go ahead and give my thoughts on this, as I always do, my opinion. I'm with the restaurant owner. I honestly believe this is just my brain thinks. I believe that Just Eats should get to know their restaurants better. The restaurants that are on their platforms, they should get to know them better. And I know people are like, KC, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is they should get to know the menus. They should have someone or a group of people in Just Eat do an audit of the entire menus of all of their restaurant partners. And I'll just say with this Lucky Diner, for example, someone would do an audit of this menu. Then once they do an audit of the menu, they reach out to the owner, Habib or Habibi, because again, it was with an I in one part of the story, and then it was without an I in another part of the story. And then what they should do is say, hey, give us your top 20 things that the mistakes usually happen. He was saying sometimes the wrong order is sent out, sometimes an item is missing, so on and so forth. And then he can make a list of that. He can send it to them. They can look over the restaurant menu and then brainstorm as to what are other things that could possibly happen outside of that top 20. Then they could go ahead and say, okay, if this happens, this will be the response. If that happens, that will be the response. Just like with ice cream. If somebody comes back and says the ice cream is too cold, the response is going to be, well, then leave it out in the sun because you're not getting a refund. That's what the response should be. If your ice cream is too cold, leave it out in the sun or put it in the stove for 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. Put it in the stove for a minute. Do whatever you have to do or just leave it out on the counter. And that's going to be that. Because we're not refunding you for ice cream that's too cold. If the ice cream has melted, obviously that is something different. So you have to figure out, all right, it's almost like a statistics thing. What are the odds of this happening? What are the odds of this happening? And breaking it down that way. And I feel if they were to do what's known as, I learned this back a long time ago in customer service, as EPR, which is Enriching Personal Relationships. EPR. EPR is what it's called. Enriching Personal Relationships. If they would do that with their partners, where they get to know their partners, get to know the menus, get to know the accidents or the mistakes that do happen, and the ones that are kind of like, okay, wait, what? Then they can revamp their system to stay within the guidelines to keep up with their competitors saying, okay, you know what? This happened. We'll go ahead and issue you a refund. Or this happened. We'll go ahead and do this. And have it that way where they will keep their partners, their restaurant partners, and not lose them. Because just saying, oh, well, if something's wrong, we will refund you for it. That's not good business. And I don't blame the restaurant owner. I'd be like, no, that's all right. And that was very shrewd what he said he would do. He's like, instead of giving them the 20%, I'll just discount my stuff to 20% when they order online through us, which is amazing. So, hey, yeah, I'm with the restaurant owner, but refund for ice cream too cold, I'm not with that at all. I just thought it was interesting when I came across it. So yeah, that's all I have. This is really, really quick today. I wanted to do this news story. I was only planning on doing this news story, but then I ended up doing a quick 3 tarot earlier. But I digress. So let me get going. I might do another story. I had seen another story. Oh, I know what the other story was. It was something that happened in Brazil. So I might do that one today. If I don't, then, long as we see tomorrow, because I don't take any day for granted, then I'll do it tomorrow. But something happened in Brazil, and I was like, are you kidding me? So, yeah. And shout out to Brazil, because I have people who listen to the show in Brazil, too. So shout out to Brazil. And they probably, if any of my Brazilian listeners, they are already probably know what I'm talking about. It involves some politicians. So yeah. Anyways, let me get going. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, be blessed.